I'm Jada Franson and this is my weekly roundup. Rodney Reed, who changed his name to Mohammed Rodwan, has just been cleared of attempted murder despite slashing a police officer 6 times in the head with a machete.
You're under arrest for assault police.
They try to handcuff him, but in the struggle, he grabs a machete and starts lashing out at PC Alton. The heart-stopping footage shows Stuart Alton firing his taser despite his serious injuries, adrenaline carrying him through. They call for backup, and only then does Stuart realise how badly he's bleeding. His camera angle mirroring what he saw as he looked down.
Get my radio! Get my radio!
So yeah, it would seem that hacking someone in the head isn't enough to get you convicted of attempted murder. Mohammed had previously served 9 years in jail for wounding 2 men in his flat, one of whom nearly had his hand cut off. Mohammed also served 3 years in jail for rape. Yeah, that's the calibre of this character. But the judge deemed that it wasn't appropriate for the jury to be told about his previous convictions. Mrs. Justice Carr didn't think it was relevant to tell jurors about his extremely violent past. Irrespective, I actually don't know how the jury delivered the verdict they did. How can this not be attempted murder? Then Mohammed's solicitor, none other than Sophie Khan, actually called for the police officer who had just been hacked in the head with a machete and then tasered Mohammed to be disciplined for using his taser. It actually doesn't surprise me coming from her. This is the same woman that has called the police anti-Muslim and claims the PREVENT programme, which is designed to de-radicalise terrorists, is a cloak for racism. You just have to take a look at her Twitter feed and it is absolutely full of tweets about white privilege. Here's something else you might not know about Sophie Khan. It's a miracle that that officer, who was then dubbed Britain's hardest cop, survived that attack. And no wonder Mohammed was grinning in court. He was only convicted of wounding that officer, not attempting to kill him. Surely it's about time we arm our police with something a bit more powerful than a taser. President Donald Trump is the first US president to have attended the annual March for Life.
It is my profound honor to be the first president in history to attend the March for Life.
As a pro-life activist, this filled me with so much hope. To see this God-fearing man stand on that stage and address those crowds, saying that he will defend the rights of the unborn. This is what we need of our world leaders.
We're here for a very simple reason: to defend the right of every child, born and unborn, to fulfill their God-given potential.
I know exactly what it feels like to be attacked by the press, but what I've been through is nothing compared to the attacks waged against President Donald Trump on a daily basis.
Sadly, the far left is actively working to erase our God-given rights, shut down faith-based charities, ban religious believers from the public square, and silence Americans who believe in the sanctity of life. They are coming after me because I am fighting for you, and we are fighting for those who have no voice.
I just find it remarkable that this man, despite all of this negative attention, all of these attacks waged against him, manages to stay focused, stay true to his cause, and do what's right for the American people, time and time again.
Every life brings love into this world. Every child brings joy to a family. Every person is worth protecting. And above all, we know that every human soul is divine and every human life, born and unborn, is made in the holy image of Almighty God.
It is impossible to ignore the fact that President Trump has relentlessly campaigned for pro-life legislation. and the US abortion rate is at an historic low. That's no coincidence.
From the first day in office, I've taken a historic action to support America's families and to protect the unborn. I notified Congress that I would veto any legislation that weakens pro-life policies or that encourages the destruction of human life. At the United Nations, I made clear that global bureaucrats have no business attacking the sovereignty of nations that protect innocent life. Unborn children have never had a stronger defender in the White House.
From one Christian pro-life activist to another, thank you, Mr. President. Marry Your Rapist bill is to be introduced by lawmakers in Turkey. Yes, Turkey. That really popular holiday destination for so many Brits. This is a country that's edging ever closer to implementing Sharia law. President Erdogan has been limiting people's freedoms by sanctioning those who insult Islam. The National Police troll the internet looking for online comments which criticise Islam. This is the same President Erdogan who has said that women are not equal to men. Although, in fairness, it does say that in Surah 2, 4, 5 and 53 of the Quran. Now this country wants to force victims of rape to marry their rapists. And just to add insult to injury, the bill legitimises child marriage too. Someone please explain to me why any British citizen is still choosing to holiday in such a country. Moreover, why is it that we're still seeing adverts on TV like this?
So, how was Turkey? So Turkey was... Wow. Yes.
The city of Van on the Turkish-Iraqi border. Among the poorest regions in Turkey, almost 1 in 2 girls are married before they turn 18. A third don't meet their future husbands until the wedding. The chief cleric of Van, the Mufti, denies marrying off any children. But he also says age is not that relevant.
Children in colder parts of the world don't develop as quickly as those in warmer regions. If there is any doubt, we ask for a medical certificate, which tells us whether a girl is mature enough to marry.
In this deeply religious region, remarrying, even for love, is not allowed because a child bride remains a child bride for life.
My advice to the great British public, stay out of Islamic countries. Men, do not take your wives and your daughters to these barbaric countries. Women, why would you choose to holiday in a country that views you as chattel? What, just because it's cheap? Just keep in mind when you're booking your holiday this year, all of those little girls who will become walking targets if this legislation is passed. This is giving paedophiles a ticket to rape little children and then force them into marriage. Please boycott Turkey. I am ending this week's roundup with a call to action. In the coming months, a number of ex-service personnel are going to be dragged into court. The British establishment is doing the unthinkable and prosecuting our veterans. These men that valiantly served their country are going to be put on trial by the British government. Many of these men are beyond retirement age and are in ill health, and after serving our country for decades are being so terribly betrayed. If you have an opinion on this issue, then please let it be known. This issue isn't a political one. It doesn't matter if you're left, right or centre. It's not a religious issue. It doesn't matter if you're Christian, Sikh or atheist. And it doesn't matter that you don't live in Northern Ireland. You can live in Wales, Scotland, England. The point is, these men served for every single one of us. They served our country. They served in our forces to keep us safe. So here's how we can give just something small back to them. There is a website, www.britishveteran.org. It's an independent website that is dedicated to stop the prosecution and persecution of our veterans, our heroes. On the website, there's a list of upcoming rallies right across the UK, many of which will be in your hometown. And the website also suggests that if there isn't one in your hometown, then get in touch with them and organise your own picket. Look, it doesn't matter whether there's 1, 3 or 40 of you. These are real men facing very real trials. And isn't it about time that we show them that they do have real support? I'm appealing to activists and those who have never engaged in any form of activism in their lives. Please, let this be the issue that brings you out onto the streets to show your support for our heroes. Please show your public support for Soldiers A to Z.